guys, it's Ingrid Marsh from Women with Voices TV. Be seen, be heard, and be you. First guest for Women with Voices TV, it had to be Andy Hicks. And the reason it had to be Andy, he has a wonderful company called Zen at Work. And the reason it had to be Andy, because while being on this journey, and it came from a difficult place, it came from being at a difficult time. And I stumbled across Andy's blog post about a crab, C-R-A-B, a crab. And he had me feeling really emotional, feeling really tearful, because I thought, that is it. That's what I want to say. This is what I want to tell the world. And I could talk for Britain, but I couldn't find that golden nugget to express where I was coming from, how I got to where I am now, and how I want to now help others find their voice and express that compellingly too. So Andy is with me today, and to help me help you get your voice out there. 80% of what I do, like I said, is personal development. We've got to get to who we are, folks, and that's tough. I know, I'm dealing with women every day who find this really tough, but they all get there. So Andy, hi, how are you?
Hi Ingrid, I'm really well, and I'm delighted to be your first guest.
Well, I say, Andy, you are, I still say to this day, one of the most authentic people I know. You are your brand, you are your website, you are whatever you say in your email messages, in your blog, but everything. You are the same person throughout, which is, it's beautiful. Is authenticity very much a part of what you do and are about? Tell me a bit about Zen at Work.
Yeah, I feel like authenticity is absolutely crucial to my own happiness and what I want to do in my business. And it really resonated with me when you said that, yeah, a lot of people struggle to be authentic. And for a long time, I guess I didn't realize I wasn't being authentic, because I wasn't really sure what authentic was. And
it's a funny word, isn't it? Because I had to Google, I had to do a talk once on authenticity, and I thought, well, let me Google it. Let me just check I've got this right. It's a funny old word, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think people can often think they're being authentic and not be, and not really notice it. And my sort of pathway into all of this kind of stuff has been through mindfulness and meditation. And I'm very passionate about helping people to be who they really are, exactly as you were saying. And knowing who you really are, it kind of is like being authentic. But getting down to that, it's like, well, how do I do that? How can I be more who I am? Who is the real me? And I believe that the real you, the real everyone, is deeply loving, peaceful, passionate, excited about life, joyful. And if you're not being those things, if you're stressed, angry, anxious, tense, you're not being who you really are. There's some sort of disconnect between who you are and who you're trying to be in the world, who you're striving to be, you're trying to make yourself be. So what I do with Zen at Work is I help people who are feeling stressed, who are feeling anxious. I give them the tools to feel calm, content, and fulfilled. And some of the main tools I use with that are the mindfulness, meditation, gratitude as well. So being appreciative of where you are, who you are, what you've got already in your life, and a bit of coaching. And I do that in businesses, in schools, and one-to-one.
Excellent. So let's go on to the post that made me cry about the crab. Tell us about the crab story, Andy.
Yeah, so I think it needs a little bit of explaining why I was writing a blog about a crab.
Just ever so slightly.
and how that relates to authenticity. So one of the main things that I've got from practicing meditation is it's made me more content. It's made me more accepting of myself in the present moment, more calm. But one of the things that it's done for me, that it continues to do for me, is that I just have these ideas appearing in my mind as if from nowhere that help me to understand myself or the world around me, people around me, and they just seem very clear and very true. And a little while ago, I was on a retreat, and this image just came to me that seemed to perfectly explain kind of the modern human predicament. You know, why do we find life so difficult? Why is it so difficult to be ourselves? Why is it so difficult for us to be happy in our modern society? And it was this image of a crab being in a city. And so crab in a city is obviously a bit out of place. The crab's not meant to be in a city.
No. I'm getting it now. Crab's not supposed to be in a city. Okay, go, yeah.
Yeah. And the crab is sort of wandering around, not feeling happy, not feeling fulfilled, and wondering why, not really knowing what's going wrong. And the crab's looking at the other crabs going about their business, going to work, socializing, going out for drinks, whatever. They seem okay. And when he asks them how they are, they all say they're fine. But he felt that he wasn't fine, that things weren't quite right. And earlier in his life, he'd had all these kind of natural inclinations, like we all have. Like he wanted to play. He wanted to play when he was a child and be silly. But when he tried to play, at a certain point he was told not to play. But he should sit down and be quiet and be still. And also he had a desire to be loved. And at a certain point, he felt like he wasn't loved for who he was. So he felt like maybe there's something wrong with me. And that just naturally arose. He had anger, sadness, joy, anxiety. At certain points, he was told not to feel what he felt, that he shouldn't be angry or he shouldn't be excited. He should just be quiet. And so he started to believe that it wasn't okay to feel the things that he felt, even though he didn't think he could help how he felt. And when he was at school, he was bullied. And the other crabs were sort of pinching him and calling him names. And again, making him feel like there was something wrong with him. And he thought, well, there must be something wrong with me if I'm being picked on. What he couldn't see is that the reason the crabs were picking on him was because they were suffering. And they hoped that by making him suffer, they would make themselves feel better.
I just want to cut in there because you said so many beautiful things already. You talked about he wanted to play and he was told not to play. And that relates a lot to a lot of my clients who come along. And one of the things I say to them is that we were born in movement. And one of the main things that the women are impacted by, and it applies to men too, but obviously my target audience are women, and it's women who I work with. But my things I always try to explain to yourselves is that we were born in movement. We were born in movement, and 9 times out of 10, women come along, and the first stage of where they are before they, I see it as a metamorphosis, you see, before they hatch and they fly, they come along in the shell, not moving. The first set of presentations they do and what have you, it's like this, they're making themselves small and they go inside this egg. But they weren't born in an egg, they were born in movement. And someone has told them, like you said, Andy, not to play. Someone has told them, don't move your arms. Someone has told them, don't smile. Someone's almost told them, be boring, be boring.
Yeah.
And that's what now extends out. That's how they express themselves in their presentation.
Yeah.
So that when you're saying don't play, it's an analogy for so many things, Andy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I came across a great one a couple of days ago, which was Picasso was asked, how did you become such a great artist? And he said, we're all born artists. The challenge is to stay one.
Oh, wow.
And I think the same goes for so many things in life. We're born wanting to play, to express ourselves, to be loved. But most of us feel like it's not okay and stop.
And this is because I met someone recently, she was saying, oh, it's all right for you, Ingrid, you have a voice. I don't have a voice, she said. So I do the editing and what have you. I was like, no, we all have a voice. It took me a while to think, what does she mean by that? And she hasn't. We all have a voice. We all have a voice. It's what has happened to that voice. Honestly, Anne, you're so fabulous. But sorry, I always have to take piece of what you say, and I hope I don't throw you. so I can also share that with my listeners and my audience to say it's not disjointed. Okay, it's the same thing. But yeah, fire away, Andy.
Sure. And so yeah, the next part of this story, the crab is kind of trying to work out, why am I so unhappy? He didn't really see how all these things that happened earlier in his life had led to him feeling.
Oh, we were talking about him being pinched as well by the other. So that's important. Sorry to cut in, but that was important too. You see, because I remember going through that. I felt like I was being pinched and grabbed by the other crabs, and I've talked about that with you. That was a really difficult part for me to get over, wasn't it? That the other crabs who were pinching me and fighting me, I really struggled for many years to accept that they were in pain too. And I was just thinking, well, if I can just get them to like me, they'll realise that, look, I'm really quite fine. And this is, up until really recently, I struggled with that. But they're just as in much pain, aren't they? So that's where you're at.
Yeah, and it's so difficult when you're being told by other people that you're not good enough, or you're not clever enough, or not funny enough, or interesting enough. You have enough inner strength to not believe them. And most of us, at some point down the line, do believe people that we're in some way lacking. And this crab did. But he didn't realize that was what made him feel the way he was. So he started looking for answers.
He started what? Sorry, Andy?
He started looking for answers.
Right.
So he read the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful Crabs. and that still didn't work. He tried the new 5-2 seaweed diet, and that still didn't work. And he started asking other people for answers, and he didn't really seem to get anywhere. Until one day he met a happy crab, and he said to this happy crab, I don't understand how you can be happy in this confusing and challenging world. What's your secret?
Yeah.
And the happy crab said, you're looking for answers out there, in books, in other people, in whatever. The answers you need are in here, inside. What is it that you really want to do? If you were really going to be yourself. And the unhappy crab said, I want to go to the sea. I've always known that, but because no one else is going to the sea, I kind of thought that it wasn't okay. And the happy crab said, well, if that's what you want to do, listen to that. You can't trust your thoughts. Your thoughts lie to you. You can't rely on other people. Other people don't know what's good for you, but you can trust how you feel. And if you feel that you want to go to the sea, do that. So the unhappy crab decides to go to the sea, even though he doesn't know the whole way, even though he doesn't know if he'll ever get there, but he at least knows that if he's on the path to the sea, he'll be happier than being somewhere he knows he doesn't want to be.
And if you don't mind me interjecting there, Andy, something that I thought about this morning, actually. You see, every day of my life, I take my brain as to how I can get this message across. How can I make people understand and what have you? Because it's so important, especially nowadays where more than ever, people want to connect with you. And we want to help people on that journey. And you said an interesting point there where you said he didn't really know if he was going to get to the sea. Yes, he wants to get there. And just this morning, as I was brushing my teeth, something came to me as well. And I just thought, this thing is such blind faith. It's such a blind faith. And I was thinking about some of my clients who've just persevered, channeling through. And it's blind faith because inside them, they're buried under all the negativity that you're buried under, but they just keep going. And the magic always happens. But it's blind faith because what's bigger is your fears are bigger than what you can see. For a lot of women, it's like, well, I don't feel that way. You don't feel it's possible. And usually, in fact, the ones who come to me at that point where I've got a great meeting coming up, I've tried everything else, I'm just going to listen to what you have to say. Let's give it a go. But it's blind faith, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes is, Martin Luther King, the definition of faith is taking the first step without being able to see the whole staircase.
Interesting.
And so often we can't imagine exactly how it's going to happen. We know we want to go there. We know we want to get to the top of the stairs, but we can't quite conceive of all the things that will need to happen and how we'll do it.
Indeed.
And faith is required for us to just go, well, I'm just going to start. I'm just going to have a go.
Just start.
Yeah.
So back to our crab. So we've got our crab now. Blind faith. Had a bit of blind faith, and they can't see the staircase, what have you. But our wee crab, off he or she pops.
Yeah. So off the crab pops, and the end of the story is that the crab learns that by trusting how it feels, how trusting his own emotions, he was able to become happier and happier. The more he trusted how he felt, the more he was able to not do the things that didn't feel good, and to do more of the things that did feel good along this journey. And I feel like this is the journey that we're all on, that we're all learning either the hard way or the gentler way, that if you ignore how you feel, if you suppress how you feel, then you make yourself very unhappy. If you allow yourself to feel what you feel and you follow it and you trust it, you'll be guided towards happiness. You'll be guided towards the right relationships, the right jobs, the right things to do in your free time for you, because everyone's a bit different. And the only way you can know what you should be doing is by listening to what's inside. And what you're doing with mindfulness is you're trying to pay more and more attention to how you're feeling. It's less about focusing on the thoughts, about, so many of us have this constant chatter in our minds, telling us what we should be doing, telling us we're not good enough, telling us everything's going to go wrong. And it's about paying less attention to that and more attention to what we're actually feeling inside as the inner guide.
And, that feeling thing is pretty key, isn't it? Because that's another thing I stress in my communication training and public speaking and what have you. And that's very hard for everyone to switch from focusing on what they're saying and more focusing on how are you making the audience feel. Mm-hmm. How do you make them feel? Associate yourself from all those words, think. No, take that away and you focus on how you make them feel. But it's all up there, isn't it, Andy? The overthinking, and I can still be guilty of that, overthinking things too much and just taking a chill pill and pulling back a bit. Andy, you are awesome as ever. Whenever I do anything, it's like, Andy, come with me. You'll be doing the talk too. And I do Women Voices live. You'll be there, I'm sure. Thank you so much. So you do this for individuals as well as companies, don't you? So could you just tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I work with people one-to-one, and I help them to learn how they can access the part of their mind that is already happy now, to realize they don't need anything they think they need in order to be happy. That is deeply relieving and profound realization for most people, well, for everyone that experiences it. People to get clear about what it is they want in the future too, and I support them in getting it. So it's not just about the present moment, it's also about the future. And I also go into workplaces and I introduce them to meditation and gratitude and the idea that, rather than thinking, when I get to the bottom of my to-do list, then I'll be happy. When I've got the pay increase, then I'll be happy. When I've got the different job, actually, I'm giving them tools so they can be happy now, so they can be calm, content, satisfied, fulfilled in their role, in their job now. And I do that with groups in a sort of course setting in a workplace.
Sounds awesome. Andy, thank you so much. And the website address for Zen at Work?
It is zenatwork.co.uk.
zenatwork.co.uk, so straightforward. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I do. I never get bored of listening to Andy. I don't. And every time I speak to him, he teaches me more. Whenever I think, like, well, I've got this, I'm there now, I'm on it. And he will still come in and teach me more. He's so truly awesome. So please do log on to his website, give Andy some support and some love. www.zenatwork.com.
.co.uk.
.co.uk. Memory, need to sort that out, didn't I? www.zenatwork.co.uk. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to press the subscribe button. Don't know where it is. Press the subscribe button for or down. Depending on where you're. Depends on where you're watching it, aren't you? If you're watching it on your mobile, it's a bit different. And so do that. Log into the website, press subscribe. Log on to Andy's website, please. I just want us to all get there. And hopefully for the members of Women Voices, we're going to get Andy actually running a course for us to help us get back to our authentic self, to remove the shackles and the straitjacket that's stopping you from bringing your authentic self to the stage. And then I obviously top up with some awesome, compelling public speaking skills. So we'll get Andy to run a course for us for members of the site. Okay, thanks guys, speak soon.